What's up, you guys? Zoeb here from OneGlanceTrader.com, and I'm really excited because I've got another free pullback trading strategy EA for you guys, this time utilizing the stochastics indicator. And if you watch my previous videos, you guys will know that I did a similar EA utilizing the RSI as the pullback trading method, and the comments in the description as well as the emails I received, a lot of you guys wanted to see the actual stochastics as the pullback method. So my team have created this EA. Again, it's absolutely free. Link is below. And in that RSI video, again, that link is also down below, as well as that EA as well, if you want to pick that one up. I went through the trading strategy, the input settings, the backtesting settings, and then I shared the backtesting results of 5 different currency pairs over a year time frame. And I'm going to pretty much follow that kind of same method in this particular video, walking you guys through the logic and then the result of those back tests. So all I ask for in return is that you like this video, and please make sure you subscribe. I'm doing a lot of work on this channel now. It's really ramping up. We're nearly on 14,000 subscribers, so please make sure that you subscribe and click that bell notification icon. So just to give you guys a very quick overview of this pullback trend trading strategy, the first thing that we utilize is an EMA, which I use the 200 period moving average to kind of identify trend direction. So it's price above the 200 EMA or below the 200 EMA. And again, we can utilize this strategy or EA on any time frame, and I'll go into all those details when I go into the kind of back testing settings that I went through for this particular back test. When it comes to the stochastics, I've utilized the same 533, which are kind of the default settings on MT4 and a lot of other majority trading platforms. And again, as part of optimization of the trading strategy, it's all customizable, the stochastic settings. So we can look to optimize these settings for different currency pairs, different time frames, etc., etc. Now, when it comes to overbought, oversold areas, the default settings are 80-20, which is kind of what you're taught when you talk about the stochastics indicator. Again, fully customizable inside the EA. So how exactly are signals kind of taken as part of this trend trading strategy? So if we have a buy signal, firstly, price needs to be above the 200 EMA, which if you look at the chart to the right, you can kind of see that indicated by this blue line, and then price is above that blue line or the 200 EMA. And then what we're looking for is we are looking for the stochastics indicator, and apologies if these gray lines are a bit faint, but effectively you've got the overbought territory at 80 and the oversold territory at 20. And what we're looking at, as you can distinguish by this um, yellow markings, is we're waiting for the stochastics indicator to come out of oversold territory. So every time the stochastic indicator comes out of dips into the 20 and then comes back out again, the strategy is to take a buy signal in this case, and then have your own kind of risk management according to your kind of trading methodology. And the exact opposite is applicable for a sell signal. The price needs to be below the 200 EMA, and then you're waiting for price to dip out of the 80 overbought territory, where then you would then take a short signal. So it's a fairly basic strategy, and it's very similar to the RSI strategy that I did a video on a few weeks ago, which utilizes the 70-30 overbought oversold levels in that kind of respect. So again, you can download this indicator absolutely free, and if you guys watch the RSI video or have the RSI EMA pullback EA, then you guys will notice that the settings and the look and feel is pretty similar to the RSI one. So at the top, you've got the stochastic settings. Again, they're fully customizable, of the K percentage, D percentage, and the slowing 533. And then you've got your overbought, oversold areas of 80, 80 and 20. And then you've got the EMA settings. Again, if you don't like exponential and you prefer a simple moving average or a linear weighted moving average, or you want to mix around the periods a little bit, you can do that again, fully customizable. And then for those of you who watched the previous video around the RSI, I've utilized the same money management, take profit and stop losses. And when it comes to expert advisors and automated trading, my preference is to use the average true range, which is the ATR, which measures the volatility of a currency pair or instrument over X number of bars. In this case, I've set it to 14, which is kind of the standard. And then what we do is that whatever the reading is of the ATR, you set a stop loss multiplier and a take profit multiplier. So very fairly basic, but fairly useful, because again, if you're looking to and EA is very difficult to code in terms of trying to find natural support and resistance levels or highs and lows and all that kind of good stuff. I wanted to kind of keep it very simple, but something that seems logical about making sure that we don't put our stop losses too tight or too far away from price there to make it unrealistic. So again, I'll walk you guys through in the next slide what my stop loss and take profit multipliers are. And as part of risk management, there are two ways that this EA has been built. The first one is you can have a fixed lot size, so it doesn't matter how big your account is, every single trade will keep taking the same lot size. Or my personal preference is a percentage of your account balance. At the moment, the default is set to 1%. And then lastly, we've got the standard alert notifications, where MT4 alert is the sound alert, and push notifications is through your smartphone, Android and iOS, if you've got the MetaTrader app. So hopefully all that is kind of makes good sense to you. And I wanted to walk through the settings as well as the back tested pairs. So in terms of the pairs, there are the exact same 5 pairs that I did for the RSI pullback method. And again, I just wanted to kind of be kind of consistent with them. And these pairs are kind of the most highest volume volatility kind of pairs out there to kind of test. Again, the date range, I did the whole of 2020. I know that we were in sort of pandemic last year, and so I felt that there was a lot of downswings, upswings, a lot of movement happening, and I felt that this was a good range to kind of test. As I mentioned in the RSI video, my preference for this was the M15 chart, because I wanted the volume of trades to be able to get a good sample size across 5 different currency pairs. Spread is 2 pips. I've been fairly generous there. Most brokers now are under, especially for like the likes of Euro USD, JPY, I really have really tight spreads under 1 pip. But again, I just wanted to kind of test the limits of this particular EA. And then in terms of risk management, we're starting with $1,000, and we're going for a 2-to-1 reward to risk. So if you look at on the left hand side of the diagram, the highlighted sections, I've gone for a stop loss multiplier of 4x the ATR and a take profit target of 8x the ATR. And I found that 4x gave me the right enough distance where 2x was, in my personal view, was really close to price. So I wanted to give some breathing room. And then obviously the take profit is double the size of the stop loss multiplier to get my 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. And then lastly, like I said, the 2% risk per trade, whereas the default settings is 1%. I've just changed that to 2, so then we've got 2% per trade. So those are the settings. Again, a lot of optimization features, which we'll go on to inside a second. And then just wanted to kind of show the back test. And I'm not going to talk about the RSI back test, because I appreciate some of you guys may have not seen that video, so I don't want to say whether it was better or worse. You guys can go and kind of check that video out. Links in the top right hand corner. I'll put that there for easy reference, so you guys can see how the two actually compare. But in terms of this, every single currency pair over the 1 year period was profitable. So in terms of trades, they all did roughly around the same trades, around between the 220 to 250 mark. Win rate as well, fairly consistent. Drawdown was a bit more spread across the 5 different currency pairs, and the USD JPY is a quite interesting one, which we'll talk about inside the next slide. And then from a profit perspective, again, Euro USD absolutely smashing it out the park of nearly 60% return, with the lowest being the USD JPY of around 5% return. But overall, these are some fairly impressive numbers for a fairly simplistic trading strategy. And the bit that I think that makes this trading strategy really interesting is when you actually look at how the P&L looked over over the whole year. So what I've done is I've kind of just shown you guys how everything fared out across the year. And there's two kind of observations here. The first observation is you can see at the latter end of every single currency pair, we see this massive fall, which strikes to me as a trend trading indicator that it was fairly flat towards the back end of the year. And one thing, again, just noting on the USD JPY in particular, you can see here, and again, my eyes kind of deceived me. Probably should have made this a little bit bigger. We had highs of 1600, so 600 $600 profit before price. Or before the P&L or return started to depreciate, which is why you also see the USD JPY having the biggest drawdown really from the 1600 all the way down to here. But you can see that all currency pairs kind of had a drop, and they all had a nice little rise at the kind of beginning of the kind of test leading up to the kind of pandemic. So again, I found these results really, really interesting, and this makes me think about optimization features, not only optimizing the actual settings itself in terms of playing around with the take profit and stop loss, playing around with the moving average settings, and playing around with the stochastic settings. Again, there is curve fitting, over optimizing things, etc., but just on the basis of this, putting this across 5 different currency pairs where we know that different currency pairs move around very, very differently, we got some pretty consistent results as part of it as well. So, and the other part is let's just assume we didn't take it as an EA, we took it as an actual trading strategy. Would I have personally discretionarily taken all 241 trades of the Euro USD? No. And some would have worked out really well, but some wouldn't have worked out really well if I did take those. So that's, again, is if you're liking the look of this fairly basic strategy, it might be worthwhile you guys having a little play with this indicator, looking at it in visual mode to see where there's some instant outcomes towards the end of a trade or an end of a trend where we started to see divergence, say through the MACD, or round number support and resistance zones as price couldn't continue going higher, whatever that may be. I'm sure if you traded this on a discretionary basis, you wouldn't have taken every single trade that came up, which again can also give us some optimization kind of features as part of this. So I really hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Comment down below on your thoughts, and again, what I'll do is I'll put the RSI 5 currency pair backtest video up here, as well as all my other trading strategies. I've got over 20-30 strategies across my YouTube channel. I'll put the dedicated playlist on. And again, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you guys in the next video.